flu. Ask her speak louder lah.
Okay, let me see how. Is this better?
Yeah.
This one? Yeah, okay. Alright, we don't have to copy this. Don't have to take pictures. So no. Alright, it's just a recap, so there's no point in
I think
copying,
she's
right?
very very happy.
But I know some of you like
think
to
watch
copy, and I actually strongly encourage them. Okay, but a large majority of you will probably, prefer to listen. So, okay, if you prefer to copy, feel free to copy. If you don't finish copying, go to the Moodle and then continue. Okay, alright, so this feedback, block diagram, again, let me say again, this feedback block diagram is what you call a 2-degree, okay, degree of freedom. Alright, control block diagram. Why 2 degree? Because you can change controller gain C and also the free filter gain F. Okay, to shape the command response. Alright? And very importantly, you have to be able to list this relationship between the output Y, free filter command response FR, double D, and measurement noise N. Alright? If you cannot write this down, please redraw the block diagram as I told you the last time. Come like this. Alright? So, how does disturbance relate to output? It's through the sensitivity function S. How does measurement, noise, and reference relate to output? It's through the complementary sensitivity. Last lecture, we added another sensitivity function, control sensitivity function. Alright? And for very large gains, if you have very large CP, okay, you know that S is inversely proportional to, alright, and then you can come up with a lot of relationships, alright? Okay, just take note that, okay, very often there will be questions in the exams, okay, about why you have to avoid picking at crossover frequencies. Okay, so we say that for low pass open loop transfer function, L is very big. Low frequency, okay, just 1 over any S plus 1, okay, you see that this is very big. High frequency is very small. And crossover is approximately 1. So when it's approximately 1, you call that if your loop gain L is very close to the minus 1 point. Okay, your vector margin, SM, is very small. Yeah? Because L is very near to the minus 1. If L is very near to minus 1, 1 over L is very near to minus 1 as well. So your RM, okay, is also very small. So when SM and RM are very small, your S and T are very big. Okay, they are about 1. They're actually very big, right? Because the SM is inversely related to S. Yeah? And RM is inversely related to T. Okay? So it's important to ensure that between S and T is avoided. Alright, so this is how sensitivity functions relate to stability margins. How your S relates to SM. Okay, SM, minimum of SM, the vector margin, is 1 over maximum of S. Okay? Minimum of RM is 1 over maximum of T. Alright? SM is the distance of L away from minus 1. RM is the distance of 1 over L away from minus 1. Alright, so everything comes together very nicely. Okay? So, why do you want to avoid picking in S? Because when S peaks, you amplify the disturbance. Why do you want to avoid picking in T? When T peaks, you amplify the measurement noise. Okay? So, what you want to do is you want to keep L and 1 of L away from minus 1. Alright, so you have big SM and big RM. Thereby, your S and T are small. Okay? And I think sometimes you'll be asked to draw, alright, the book diagrams for S and T. I don't know often because it's too simple. Okay, just note that for S, when S is small, it comes with a split disturbance attenuation. T is approximately 1, which is 0 in dB scale. It's called command response, and however you need low noise sensor. Okay, this is slightly more interesting, which is something that is not very obvious. Okay, so when we actually designed, we originally had designed a C controller gain for a nominal part, original part. But what happens if there's changes in the plant after a period of time? So originally P naught is 1 over S plus 1. Okay, the local also after some time is spread. From 1 over S plus 1, the dynamics change to 1 over 1.2 S plus 1. Okay? Is the original stability and robustness analysis that we did with the design of controller is still valid? That's the question. So last lecture we did this. We differentiate S over S naught over differentiate P over P naught. And we show that it's minus P naught. What does that mean? Okay, this one you have to pay attention. This means, okay, that S naught is actually very robust at high frequencies. Why? Because if this is minus P naught is low at high frequency, right? Alright? So the probability of S changing when there are plant variation is low at high frequencies. Alright? The probability of S changing when there are plant variation is low at high frequencies because this is minus T and T is low at high frequencies. You understand this? Yeah? And similarly, the probability of T changing when there are plant variation is S, right? It means that T is very robust at low frequencies. Why? Because S is small and low frequency. Okay? Alright? And then last but not the least, this one question that came out last year. So for last year, this is the same as what your seniors have. So for those who have got seniors, go through this. Okay, and then for your seniors and not so many star here. Nobody really paid attention for last year. Okay, so chances of this coming out this year, I'm not sure. Alright, but Boy's criterion, the criterion that we have repeated over and over again, it's just a necessary and sufficient criterion for close to stability. Okay, and what does it mean? It tells you that the distance that the new loop transfer function, the distance of new loop transfer function away from the original one, has to be less than the vector margin Sm. Okay, and the vector margin Sm is the distance from minus 1 to 1. Okay, from there, then you can derive, you can conclude that it is. Okay, I'm not going to repeat again because it's something that we've covered so many times. And the other side is for 1 over L. Okay, so the new transfer function 1 over L, the distance away from the new to O1 must be less than Rm, which is the distance from minus 1 to 1 over L. Okay, and then you manipulate and you get this. Okay, one very important thing is you must always relate your vector margin to your sensitivity function. You know that Sm is 1 over x S, Rm is 1 over x T. Alright? Okay, so this is recap. It's available in Moodle. Okay, now let us just go to the practice questions. I don't know how many of you have taken a look at this. I do not guess are important. Okay, if you go to past exam questions, you do see, especially like question 2 and question 3 and question 4 in some of those past exam questions. So the lecturer for this course, especially the master lecturer, will give you the value nice for you guys. Alright? So I don't know whether we'll keep up with it this year. I hope so. Okay, what I'm going to do, I'm kind of raise of hand who has already gone through this at home. Okay, maybe can I just give you like 10 minutes to just read through and at least understand what the question is asking for. Alright, and after 10 minutes we will go through a solution. Okay, so the clock now is 3:20. We will go through a solution about 3:30. Feel free to discuss among your friends,